What's going on, advocates? Welcome back to the Black Mental Health Podcast. I'm your host, Reg. If you hear me rushing through the intros, because me and Tom were talking off air before we hit record, and I wanted to capture it because he was dropping so many jewels. I wanted to capture it because I needed the people to hear it. I don't introduce anybody, bro. I want you to introduce yourself and let people know who you are, so that way they could get there and start listening.
Hey everybody, you know what it is. It's my name Thomas Hunter. You can find me on Instagram at ALPK You'll see my name Thomas Hunter, but it'll say Unstoppable. Now, me and Reg here, we was talking about just reminiscing about because we colleagues, so we reminiscing about courses we took together in curriculum and future plans, and what we was talking about was the curriculum that are set in these universities that don't incorporate enough humanity into their mental health practices. Now, what we were saying, so we was talking about how they just only use logic, and as a black man, their logic don't apply to us sometimes because the color of our skin and our demographic and status in the community. So what we're looking for is to like really just incorporate some swag, some some real appeal into really loving each other and understanding that vulnerability is key into understanding oneself, understanding how to learn from trauma, heal from it, and incorporate that into your daily journal so you can use it in your toolkit. So I wanna ask Reg right here, Reg, if if you were to if you were to see yourself if you were to see yourself now, back when you was, let's say, 19, do you think you'd be proud of yourself, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, in certain ways, you know, some people lives move back where some people come from great beginnings but then turn around to negative. And I think that it's come from the opposite when black people come from nothing or struggle, and we rise to become some even greater than we ever thought it was. So I'm trying to use what I'm been experiencing, and to really show people from different cultures that perception isn't everything. you know like I might keep a mean face on, I might walk with my head on a swivel, but it's just a protective like mechanism,
Mm,
because our environment is like a jungle, a
mm.
concrete jungle, while y'all living in open roads, green grass, nice house on the prairie. We living in a jungle, and our terrain is a little bit different than yours.
Mm.
Y'all come off y'all come off right off the porch easy. We right off the net. We get kicked out the nest. So I've been I've been shot before. I've been incarcerated, but I didn't let none of that break me. The difference is we got to know who we are internally, because if you're weak at mind, you're really weak at body. Because I could have been dead. I could have let the system swallow me, but I didn't. I rose above that. Now I'm a certified peer specialist. I'm a youth advocate. I'm a leader in my community, and on top of that, I don't never let what happened to me just be forgotten. Like I like it never happened before. It stays with me every day, and that's the difference. I'm not trying to put on a facade like I was born perfect. It's really when you walk with the scars that have been given to you, it really shows your character. It really shows you know, who and what you're made of. Like, so we was just talking about the accolades, what we can get from, taking back our education and reteaching it to the youth and incorporating it in a way where we don't gotta take their word verbatim, but we snatch what we can snatch, mix it into our own, urban unique way, and combat our community in a way where we're teaching and let's say, policing ourselves before we get to the point where we shooting at our own brother, we shooting at our own best friend, you know, and healing begins with the home and the community and the support group that is around you first. And if we can start from home, if we can build up from there and teach, I think we don't need nobody else but each other. But we doing the opposite. We're attacking one another. We're not respecting those who came before us. We're attacking those who came before us. Women getting attacked daily, you know. And I've been seeing a lot of violence that been coming from younger generation who really don't see a light at the end of the tunnel because of, I guess, perception. Fast life. We thought, fast life, easy, fast money comes with, accolades. It comes with, jewelry. It comes with, the girls, the money. No, it don't come with none of that. Come with hatred. Come with envy. Come with jealousy. Come with hate. More hate than you ever imagine because people want to put a bullet to your head.
I was just about to say it come with bullets, it come with jail, it come with death, it come with all those things too. We can't take the good without the bad that it come with.
Absolutely. And I just want to see where your points are on this.
Nah, and I was gonna get a bit. I just wanted you to finish that thought to just give the people a basis of like where we were at and kind of like just finish that out on the episode. But because I usually give an intro and build up to certain things, but we were just going in beforehand. But yeah, man, I want to share something for those who are listening, please go to the YouTube and look. This was the flyer that got me and Tom connected. And well, it wasn't probably this exact flyer, but
Yeah.
because we got it in the pandemic, but we met in a program that was sponsored by Drexel University and Mental Health Partnerships and even Philadelphia Works to become a community health worker slash certified peer specialist training. It was a 9-week training. It was paid. It fit the age range that we were in, and I don't think they was accepting girls at the time, and I know they started accepting, yeah, girls. But yeah, no, they wanted to get individuals that had personal experiences of violence and to themselves or to their communities, and then we had to share our experiences and the trauma and how it affected our mental health and physical health. We had a strenuous curriculum that was administered by amazing facilitators like Casey and Tony, and I actually had one of our fellow cohort members early on once the program was finished, so you can go back and listen to that episode. But yeah, man, we met in this program, and to give people a basis of the first episode from my experience, and I actually spoke on, oh no, I spoke on the other brother story. I can't even remember his name. Then that's crazy. That he says his cousin had just got shot or killed or something like that when in the beginning of the story. I had like talked about that and I shared that. But even you and I'm glad to have you on because you got the firsthand experience. You came into the program like, yo, I heard about this while I was laying in the hospital bed, and they told me about this after getting shot. And I'm like, to even have that awareness to be like, you know what, I'm gonna try something different in the midst of being in that much pain. Just talk about that perspective and the thought process behind that.
Nah, man, that was a real like enlightening experience. The first bull I met was I think his name was Richard, but he was cool, but the second guy I met was Jermaine. And when I met Jermaine, me and him like hit it off. Like that man reminded me of my childhood best friend.
Mm.
Uh, he came in there. I didn't know who he was. I'm my leg propped up. I couldn't feel the thing. I'm thinking I couldn't move no more. So I'm thinking about things that I can do when I get out this hospital. But he came in there. He said, "Yo, can I sit down with you? Can I talk? I see your leg propped up. Can you tell me what happened?" I'm like, "Damn, what's your name?" Jermaine McCoy. Da, 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 da. I'm from Healing Hurt People. Healing Hurt People. Sound familiar to me. So I let him talk. And for about 20 minutes before he even really gave me the pitch about what Healing Hurt People was, what he was actually there for. We started rapping about music. We started talking about gymnastics. We started talking about my injury. We started talking about my job that I had. But what really got me was when he started talking about the gymnastics part, because he was into flips. And back like 2 years, 3 years prior, I was really into like parkour, free running. I was really heavy on the like gymnastics, hitting round offs, back handsprings, fulls. I was doing all that. So when he talked to me and he told me, he was into the same thing. He was b-boying, but ultimately him and his boy got into an altercation with people, and he got shot in his leg. He never could do that no more. But it was the fact that when he told me he got shot in his leg, but he giggled a little bit.
Mm.
You know, he shook it off. Like, I respected that. Like immediately, I just like you shook it off, but you here because ultimately, like it couldn't stop you. And when he told me a little bit about that, I came to like figure out like a little bit more about myself. Like I can't let this stop me, man. Like what I look like, crying over spilled milk. It happened. Like what's next? So
Mm.
he hit me with like we had a job at the time. I was doing carpentry, and I was assistant carpenter actually. I was really doing like the drywall, the framing, and the demolition. And during that time, I couldn't go back. Like I'm deemed like paralyzed to a hospital. And during that time, he was asking me, "Well, you gonna need some money. You got any health insurance, any of that?" I'm like, "I don't got none of that. I ain't even look into that." I was
Mm.
like, until I like last time I looked into it when I was like 18, and when you're 18, they give you all the packages and stuff because you're technically adult now. I ain't looking into none of that. I was about 20 at the time in the hospital when I got shot. But no, not 20. I was like 21. Um, and during that time, I was like, all right, we did the VCAT, and he told me come down to the office. So about a month or so, because I was in the hospital for a minute. I was in the hospital for like a month. They was trying to figure out what the hell was like going on. Bullet
Mm.
was still in there. They split me open trying to figure out where the bullet at. Couldn't find it. Got the X-ray later on. They said, yeah, that shit didn't get back. L5. So I don't think it's ever gonna come out. Just be careful. It might trigger something later on where you might actually not never walk again. So I threw the flipping thing out the window.
Mm.
I took Jermaine's advice. I came down to the office, 1505 Arch Street. I came down there. I was on a walker. Me and my pop came down there. My pop was the one that was with me when I got shot. I went to go to like the whole thing, like throughout the whole time. My pop was with me when I got shot. He told me he passed me his phone, told me call the cops. I was sitting there with a bullet in my and holding my stomach in his car. And he took me the same to the Hill and Hurt People place, and we did the paperwork, and we was talking, and he was just like, you know what, I'm hearing your story, like why don't you do this job like yourself? I'm like, what? Like, bro, you tripping? Like, I can't do this. Like, you just put me on. Like, how
Right.
you gonna tell me I can do this to him? Like, man, I need you to do my job. He like, man, I was shoving it off. Like, I'm just getting started. But so I look into what he was doing. He gave me the VCAP. He gave me medical assistance. And throughout that process, I met Tony, I met Casey, told them my story, and they was aback by what happened, and they're like, why, how do you feel? They offered me peer specialist. Um, it was what's her name, Charlene, and Charlene was my first peer specialist, and I had her for about 6 to 12 months, and throughout that process, she was like, I don't know, Charlene, she was like the best peer specialist I can like talk to. Like I guess I got real comfortable when I had that first session with her, because it was just like, another black another black woman here with me talking about things that essentially bothered me. I didn't have no mind opening up. you know I felt like I was talking to an older sister, or like a like a caring aunt, or like a great neighbor from your block or something. So it was like that. And she never told me anything that I didn't need to hear. Like, she was there when I was going through my strange relationship, and we did video podcasts where I'm doing peer specialist work, and she hear my ex in the background, just going on for me, like doing a little jealous stuff, trying get my attention off of what I'm doing, because she assumed that whatever I was doing wasn't good enough, because I'm in the wrong for whatever I did to get shot.
Hmm.
And I'm like, wow. I'm like, and at the time I was just learning about searching in myself, believing in challenging like other people's beliefs and how they perceive me. I didn't really know I was being manipulated the whole time into you know believing that I was less than of who I was, because she ain't have my ex in particular. She ain't believing in me at all. She just used me for whatever I had to offer, money, the time that I had, what I had to offer her. But Charlene opened my eyes and said, I'm way more than that. I'm way more than just somebody's tool. And at the time, I felt like when I was doing my carpentry work, I felt like, damn, like I'm overdoing things. Like, I should be getting paid $35 an hour to do what I'm doing right
Hmm.
now. I'm just getting paid, 15, like a McDonald's worker.
Hmm.
I'm like, and I'm thinking about my last job. My Korean boss wanted to let me lead the store, but will only pay me about what, $400 a week. And it was like, cool, but I'm lead chef.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm running a whole store on a corner where everybody's coming in off the train and everything like that. I need to see at least like $1,800 something. You know what I'm saying? I'm really
Hmm.
cooking.
Hmm.
So I never understood my worth.
Hmm.
Never understood my worth. So I had those talks with Charlene, and she told me, like, if you put your best foot forward, you can get anything you set your mind to. And I'm like, I dig it. So after that, she taught me. She forwarded me to Tony, and he was doing the ciphers at the time.
Hmm.
And what messed me up was I missed it. I missed
Hmm.
the first cipher he was doing, and that messed him up. Like, he was emailing me. Tony persistent. He don't
Yes.
stop. So uh, I missed that joint, and during that time, I was running the streets. I was running the streets, and after I finished my sessions and all that, they knocked on my door. Apparently, it's like we having a training program. It was a
Oh.
CP program. They knocked on my door. We tried to get in contact with you for about a month and some change after you finish your session with Charlene. We really, heard great things about you from her. Um, we recommend you, try to, become a certified peer specialist. I ain't really feel it. It's hard to really, grab somebody when they going through so much, because I had a crib at the time. I was paying rent. I was, I had a car note and stuff like that. So I'm like, I'm not worrying about that. I need real bread. Like, the part time wasn't doing it, doing me no justice. But I wound up saying whatever I was doing at home, because at that point, it was just do or die right there because I wasn't happy at home. It was like I was escaping from myself at the time, and I was escaping from my home. I was escaping from my ex. I was escaping. I was just leading myself into like a hole where it was nothing but self doubt. So I gave it some thought, and I came to the certified peer specialist program where I met you guys, and it was nothing but men. And at the time, I don't have no bias between the gender sessions and stuff like that. But at the time, where it was just men, it was just like I don't know. It just came at like everything like I said earlier before we started recording. Everything is about timing with me, and just the fact that it helped me understand that I can be myself around other, grown men without the aggression, the toxicity, the facade, the poke your chest out and all that. And we can just learn and heal and speak and learn. Like that was like nothing I ever experienced before. Like I got brothers. I got friends, and I got a father, I got an uncle, I got, but it's really different when it was like us there and it was like all understanding what we was really going through, and it was real. Wasn't somebody telling you like, oh, it'll get better when things get better, but you're not feeling what I'm feeling right now.
Mm.
All y'all was. I couldn't sit there and fake the funk when everybody was going through the funk with me. Like
Ooh.
it's like, come on. I remember when I first what's his name? Man.
Don't do it to yourself because I can't remember nobody's name if I'm being honest. The people I connected with afterwards, I stayed connected with.
Yeah. And I'm gonna keep it a fact. If I see the face, I probably might remember him. But
Right.
it was just that during that time, my man was so he was smart. I forgot his name, but he was so smart. But his emotions would go off.
I know exactly who you're talking about. Yep.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Emotions go off, and it's like, bro, you never got a chance to really,
Just be.
be.
Yeah.
Everybody had to tell you to put that cover up. You're gonna be okay. You bro, cry, bro. Like just cry, like, cause I'm not here to laugh at him. I'm not here to poke no fingers at you. I want to fucking cry too.
Mm.
Like, and I'm gonna stay in here. I'm gonna sit here right with you.
Mm.
We gonna do this together. Like that really like sat there with me because it wasn't like anything I felt before. Like and I wish somebody would have did that for me. It was like my body just moved on its own. Like everything just moved on its own. Like I can't sit there and just let this slide. Like let him feel what he's feeling, and I'm gonna endure this journey with him. And that was like that was better than any church I've been in.
Nah, and you was so right, bro, man. That's why I'm mad I couldn't get everybody on because I wanted to make sure I get everybody on, just knowing like we collectively had our own individual stories, but you can get 10 different brothers from 10 different experiences who all share a collective trauma, and to be able to like relate to one another is a beautiful blessing. But it's also it was something this guy said in there, not in our cohort, but like one of the funders or the people that was in the background. He said our stories are, and I can never get it, they're not like they're not so different. Like they're all it sounds as harsh as it is and as painful as it is for everybody. It's so many other people with those painful stories as well, which is the sad part about it. Is like
Yeah.
we shouldn't all share that same thing. And he put it so beautifully, and I wish I could remember it. But I did want to ask you too, because you entered the group in such uh a traumatic way where it's like, yo, I'm coming off of like being shot. but I know in your mind, and you can speak to whatever you feel like you will speak to. The first thing, if anybody get attacked, is revenge. But you say, all right, I'm gonna take this different route, and go this capacity, and I commend you on that. But I think we talked about that with the young boys in the city. That ain't
Yeah,
going. That I go through wormholes every other night where I'm following like the different beefs that's happening in the city, and I'm like, yo, I'm on YouTube too much. Like I got to get out of it because it's a dark world outside, and they are
super
academic in
dark.
it up.
And you know, like I said, I'm not a stranger to violence. Like I grew up in a traumatic household. Like I grew up in domestic substance abuse. You know, people getting shot at right in front of you. I got shot at when at the age of 9. You
Mm,
know, just walking up the corner trying to say hello to a friend. Somebody coming through with a Mac 11 start spraying up the joint. Next thing I know, I'm 30 seconds down Market Street. So I'm just I'm just a, accustomed to like where their heads lie, like where their morals lie in a sense. But I had community around me, older people who failed in life, and then even hesitate to tell me they failed. They told me they failed. They was up. They failed, and all I see is people, younger people, looking up to them, and they ain't getting the same story that I heard from them. But you know, everybody don't get that side.
mm,
And I was blessed to be pushed off from everybody else because they seen something brighter in me. They ain't want me hanging out with them, doing what they do. They took other young boys under their wing. They told me they fell in there like this shit sucked. But those who drive to be that, who strive to be that bull, they getting what they asking for.
mm.
They ain't looking at these people in the eye and be like, "Oh man, I see you." Like, what's your story like? Like they when I was young boy, like they told me how like I'm from West Philly, like so I was near. I'm hearing stories about the move bombings, the crack epidemic, the party scenes where everybody was just like intertwined with each. Everybody know one another, and back then it was still community, but now people grow up, people envy each other now. People not getting the same respect that was given to those who were brought up in that time or brought up in that same area, but they was just left to be alone. Like the parents not parenting, they still living in a bull. Like they're not teaching their kids like, yo, listen, don't follow after me, don't repeat what I do. I was constantly getting like, yo, don't follow after me, don't repeat what I do the opposite of what I'm doing, because what I'm doing right now is out of survival. I'm in survival mode. I learned about flight, like survival mode, like fight, fire, freeze, and like early, like what I'm doing right now. I owe somebody, I owe somebody a couple $1,000 right now. I need to make moves, or I'm getting blown away, or I had to blow him away. They was in that type of life, and it's like you make a choice. You live to make shit easier for yourself, or you live to make this shit harder. Because everybody don't get no second chance in this. And I feel as though when I was sitting in my hospital, I just reminisced about all that. And I was getting calls. I had 40 people outside my hospital. Half of them shooters telling me what to do. What's the move? Where should we move to? Where we going? That's a real life changing. Like you got to make a choice type time, right? And it's either they said, but they're gonna get here, we handle it, or we can let this go. And you make your best choice, bro. And it's not like it was a real life or death decision, but they really gave me a spoonful, and they was like, you can make that choice. We fuck with you, Tom. We want to see you out here live another day, so you can be protected and all that stuff. It was just out of respect, out of that. Do you feel safe to be here without, while he's still around and stand third? I say, you know what? I don't fear that man. I don't fear that man. That man feared me, and I'm gonna walk around these streets regardless and do what I need to do to sustain my happiness. You know what I'm saying? And I did that. I made my choice and I sustained my happiness. I didn't want revenge no more. I wanted to be better. I wanted to overcome everything. Like I wanted to get the noise from my ex out of my ear. I wanted to get the noise from the pain my mom brought me. I wanted to get the noise from the pain that all my teachers like just thought I was going to be nothing. I was going to prove all of them wrong, and that's where my head was at when I came into that cohort. I refused to like let myself be totally a victim. Like what I'm saying? Like yeah, I got shot. I'm still walking. I'm still here. I'm learning now. I'm learning more than I ever thought I'd learn. Never thought I'd ever be. I had never thought I would see myself in a hospital setting when my mom and my grandma used to say like I picture you in a hospital setting, you know being somebody's doctor or something like that. And I'm just thinking about it like, yeah, I would love to do that, like so I can save her from herself. And I'm literally in the field where I can potentially do that today, 25 years from now. Like I'm gonna still be in this field probably and doing even more now to help those in the like even worse predicaments than me. So when I stepped in that core, I was just ready. I was just ready to go, ready to learn. I was ready to absorb everything that came towards me. And at the time, I was still dealing with like legal issues with my ex, but I put that on the back burner. I just waited till the court date come and just like, you know what? I'm learning about everything that I was doing, and necessarily I feel like I was never wrong in none of those situations.
Mm.
So like I was never wrong, and I feel like I was provoked and manipulated and she contorted me into the whatever feeling out she wanted me to be in, so she can leave and cheat on me and do all that. And I was just I was just beyond it. I ain't let that break me. I ain't let that stop me. I did what I had to do, and I feel as though you know sky's the limit right now.
Man, and you said something. I don't know if it's all we talked so long beforehand. I don't know what's off air and what's on, but one of the things you said was that I may present a certain way, but this is not, that's protection. Like
Yeah,
I got to make sure I'm not fooled out here. Like that's protection. But since being connected with you from the cohort, I know you into music, anime, and
yeah,
all these different things where on the outward appearance you would never expect it, and that's sort of why I wanted to have you on with it's just a conversation, because it's like, first of all, I'm intelligent, second of all, I can understand and comprehend, and I think because of like media and different way that we are as young men presented, that if we don't have a time show up in these certain spaces and talk the way that you do and show up the way that you show up, then they only gonna look at us as the thugs with dreads that want to rob and kill and wreck the community.
absolutely. And when I started, and actually, like I went I went full force with that whole perception thing, because when I started growing my hair, I always thought the shortcut formal wear, or some Jones will get me, like the right job and stuff like that. But I'm like, I'm not looking for a job. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not looking for a job. I'm looking for some place I'm needed. I'm looking for some place I can be happy about going to. Looking to be, my full internal self wherever I, make my money at. And that's what always carried me. I'm not, changing myself for nobody. you know, and that's the thing that's really going to have people understand that it comes with discipline when you want to do that. You know what I'm saying? When you want to not change yourself for nobody, then you want to do that. You got to have a couple books you
Mm,
read. You got to have a couple, you know, experiences you lived. Then you can really sit there and say, yeah, I got this. I can really be a man in my own world right now. But you don't have that lived experience. Y'all 14, they gave you an iron
mm,
and told you make a choice. You ain't put that gun down yet. Now you living with the choices that that was made for you.
mm.
So I'm just trying to be living proof that you know the decisions you make is cause and effect, bro. And it's really how you know we take it. Like I can sit here and you know rock my dreads all the way down to the, you know, cover my face like I'm Chief Keef and wear all black enough if I want to. But at the same time, I still won't get my point across that when I'm dressed like that, it don't you know, it's not therapeutic. It's really sheltering. It's really telling you that I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to be touched. I don't come near me. But today I'm wearing my hair back. I'm wearing pink. I'm, you know, please, I embrace your hug. That's what these kids need. Like, I can't do this shit alone. I need somebody to like listen. I need somebody to like walk this shit with me, but not, you know, to a point where we all burn. I'm trying to get out of it. I'm trying to, you know, run my own business. I see people out here doing videos and doing music and driving cars and driving trucks, getting all this type of money. But I just shot somebody and they only had $120. Now I'm facing murder charges.
Mm.
That wasn't the right choice, brother. Like, and sometimes I think about what I do at Yes as like a double-edged sword, you know, like. But jail isn't for anybody, especially no children. You know, children shouldn't be in jails, but you know, there should be things put in place where we come forth. Like like I said, I'm from 60th Street, but you remember the Walter Wallace situation? I'm from that area where and during that time I was locked up, and I wish I could step through that TV when all those you know police officers were surrounding that you know mentally challenged young man, and it was like y'all don't know his story, his family not you know supporting him in a way where they're telling his story. They just want him out the way, and things need to be done differently. You know, I feel as though we need to like reach out to everybody, and when we reach out to everybody, I mean we need to really put our hands in like on everything we come across. We need to really put our hands on everything we come across because we don't know how we'll affect the next person. Because I'll go to a young boy, I give a young boy at the gas station $1. That might change his decision on you know asking the next person that'll curse him out, and he you know he'll
Or not
retaliate.
asking, going to rob and go get it now. Like I done asked for so many hours and no one gave it to me, so now I gotta go take it.
And now I gotta go take it. And it's like, damn, we can teach you the tools. Like, how we gonna make these kids think about the questions that they need to ask? You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking about how to get these kids engaged and asking the right questions again. Nobody asking the right questions again. It's like nobody sees the questions. It's
No,
like,
it's to you right in a sense because you can't ask the right questions if your environment doesn't allow for you to think to ask the right questions. You can't even
yeah,
think of that. And I was talking to my girl the other day and she was saying that like you cannot think outside of your comprehension because you can't comprehend a thought that like you it's hard for you to you can't think out of side of something you don't even understand. Like you can't even think what's possible because I know this bill is due. I know my mom is on this. I know my daddy ain't this. I know my siblings is hungry. Like I can't even take the time out to think about something like that. So what do you expect for me to do? I'm only going to surface level think.
exactly. And where it's so scary. And we need to really see how can we stop that revolving door, bro?
So
Because
now,
it's coming a little bit too frequent. Like it's coming like rapid pace that all the young people are on that same wavelength. Like like you gotta take in this world. Like you don't gotta take. Damn, this shit placed out for us where we can just ask. Like, and it's not cool. Like we come out. It's like I've been at panels lately, and none of the young folks come out, and
mm,
I've been busting on them like yo, like y'all on this corner every day. Y'all broke. Y'all got the same shoes. Like it's places out here where you can get a full set of clothes, like 4 or 5 sets of clothes for free. All you do is gotta put your name on the list and just go into the appointment. It's that. Then there's jobs out the wazoo. Anything you could think of. It's just not McDonald's, just not Foot Locker, it's just not no, corny job. This shit you can really out here kick your feet up, really could clock in hours and just learn professionalism. It's just, I'm just thinking of ways of how can I integrate my hands onto these kids in the future, man.
no, no, I got you. And I've been for me, and I think you asked me it off air too, like before we recorded, and I said I wanted to bring it on because um it was, and you can Google this and YouTube it. I didn't think of it, and the person that told me it didn't think of it too. But it was the tugboat versus the lighthouse story, and he was like, you got an option in this world when helping people. You could be the tugboat, and I want to get it tatted. I'm supposed to get it tatted. You could be the tugboat. The tugboat goes around the ocean trying to save everybody out the water. Trying to go you by yourself in your little boat, trying to use your little minimal resources to just save everybody. And
Mm-hmm.
you can succeed at that, and it's going to be draining, but you'll be able to save a few people while doing that. Whereas the lighthouse doesn't get out there and save, it can't do much. It's sturdy, it stands there, but it's shining a light for people to come to shore. It's shining a light so that way people can know the way to kind of do certain things. And if they
Yeah,
look up and they can swim and they can do certain things, I try to be a mixture of both, but I lean more towards the lighthouse. Hence, that's why the podcast is here, where they
yeah,
say that the student comes when the teacher, or the teacher comes when the student is ready. So I'm almost at 100 episodes of this podcast. Whenever someone decides to like, I want a different route, they Google it. They got 100 episodes like a playbook that's right way to go, as opposed to me trying to run around and grab all these young boys. It's like, yo, it's here waiting for whenever you're ready to search for it.
absolutely, bro. And I see, you know, the symbolism where you coming from with that. And if you do get that tatted, I need a full picture of
I
that too.
got you. Because
And
the tugboat works though, because you can
yeah,
save people, but then how many people you gonna fit on your little boat? How
exactly,
tired are you gonna be doing while you out there in the ocean? Then you in the ocean and you gotta fight waves and all that stuff. So it's applicable to the people that's struggling to trying to like save everybody, but it really is a strenuous process. And the one thing that I say that the kids are always they at schools, and the schools are always looking for people to come in and talk with them. And if we always want to reach the kids, is the best way to try to get them is at school, because
exactly,
that's one of the places that they have to go before 18. If you're gonna catch them, that's where you will catch them at.
exactly, and absolutely. And I feel like I'm a little bit of the tugboat myself, bro. I feel like I'm a little bit of the tugboat. I'm out there, in my little vest and paddling on a canoe.
Yep.
Come
And then they kicking your boat down, your little boat down, and then they tugging it, and it's just like, bro, that's so much energy. Where the
And it's the
lighthouse is safe on
transparency, bro.
land, it's big, it's tall, it's sturdy, it don't really, and it's still shining the light to help them go. And again, I'm probably butchering the analogy, but it's YouTube and Google, that's it's out there. The tugboat versus the lighthouse, man. That story changed my life, because it be like, you feel like you're doing more when you're in the tugboat and you in the ocean and you're doing it, which you are,
Yeah.
but you probably could save just amount as the same amount of people if you was on as the lighthouse that's helping them shine their way to the shore.
No, absolutely, bro. I see that, and I think I need to internalize that light post more. I think I do because, like I said earlier, I was like not understanding my worth, where I was putting myself on the front line, my body and my mind, and right now I'm about to be sitting down in a place where I'm here. I'm gonna be. It's gonna be just like this podcast. I'm gonna probably roll my clients in just like how this podcast roll. Just we talking about it. We talking things through. We visualizing things, and we just coming full circle with everything we talk about today. So when I start my peer specialist work, I'm gonna definitely incorporate some key points and some real good life lessons and honing your true nature of yourself, because these kids need to hone in who they really are and what they want to be before looking at the next person, envying them, and we back to square one, because everybody's going to get somewhere one day. It's just how long you feel like taking that ride.
Mm. Oh, that I was just about to ask you, is there anything you want to lead the people with? We could talk for hours. I'm sure we'll find a way to have this conversation another way. Is there anything that you want to share, leave anybody that's listening? What's your closing remarks you want to leave with them?
I feel as though like I don't got nothing flashy to say to the people, but it's like
Or
just be
or name something that changed your life that is like, man, I wish everybody knew this information.
well. Well, I think it's the easiest one. I think don't follow the Joneses, man. Like don't follow the crowd. Be the one that sticks out the crowd. That was always my favorite motto, like, and the one that always got me out of trouble. Don't be the follower. Be the person that's different, that sticks out, like, like, like terribly too. Like, be the one that sticks out terribly. Like, damn, like he's nothing like us, but he his own wave.
Mm-hmm.
Be your own wave. I'm telling you, you'll have a flock of people that's trying to be like you than you trying to be like everybody else.
Mm.
So I feel as though that's the best way to be yourself, is unconditionally be you. Like, just don't be afraid to laugh, joke, or be as serious as you need to be. Don't contort yourself to nobody's framework. If you feel like something's wrong, mix it, throw whatever they teaching you out the window, mix it in with what you got, and tell you you'll make some blessings happen.
Mm.
So, I mean, I don't got all day to rant on about things that are potentially make good notes. But my name Thomas, once again, Thomas Hunter. I'm a certified peer specialist, and
Let's
I'm
go.
on Instagram at ALPK Tom. You can see me blog my life there, and I'm talking about now. Well, talking about youth, and mainly got resources on my page. Mainly little vlog there and there, and I'm gonna have a website coming up soon once I get my logo finished, and basically y'all basically gonna have an indoor scope of my life. Thank you
Man,
too, bro, for having me on this podcast.
no, I'm thank you. We able to get it on. I've been trying to get time on it for a while, but I know we've been missing each other, and I knew he would be able to come on and just share a different insight. So I appreciate you, bro, for being as vulnerable with your story and sharing it and just being open and transparent. Since I met you, that's how you rolled, and even what you were saying about being the leader, you was always the first to answer the questions in the class and step up. And even if it was like, all right, I don't even know too much about this, but I'll be the first one to take a jab at it to see what I know. So you stand on what you share with everybody, and I can vouch for that because I seen it at firsthand. Um, and, and on that note, please share a quote that he said. Share this video. Share a quote. Leave a review on Apple and just put like in the comments like, "Yo, he said this in the episode, and this was fire." And let people know why they should listen to it, because sometimes people got to hear something that resonate with them. So please share this with somebody. And last but not least, please remember that this platform has never been about being a replacement to therapy. It's an alternative place where people share therapeutic stories. Thank you for listening.